Most people won't do that. Find something that you can make a difference because you can. Part of what feeds your larger vision, part of what gives you a reason for being, part of what gives you your life is being able to give something back.
He says we're not bottom of the totem pole, but yet we're bottom of that pole.
I was facing financial difficulties in my own life. I was behind on my bills and my dreams, and I'm saying to them, it was very difficult. There were times that I doubted myself. I said, God, why is this happening to me?
Put all of your energy into watering one area. If you spread the water across many, many seeds, you don't have as much water for one seed. So focus on one thing, make it your priority, and stick with it no matter what.
So a lot of what should go into what I'm trying to do is answer these questions that people can't find everywhere else, right? Because otherwise I become, it becomes very diluted.
People wake up every morning, they have doubt, they have fear, they lose in a Ferrari race or they lose in a race, and then they just give up. The hardest thing in life to learn is to lose. Winning's easy. You win, you're happy, you get a high five, your friends are happy. It's your ability to take a loss.
There's a feeling that is deep down inside of you that will not allow you to let it go. It will keep you going when you can't even keep yourself going, because there comes a time in your life where you've worked and you've stressed and you tried to get there and you couldn't on your own, but you have a dream. And that dream has to take on the belief for you because you can't do it by yourself.
Courage is the key to life itself. There are a lot of people who are born in situations where they say, well, I'll never get out of this. So they won't. I say to people who say, well, I would like to have done so and so and so. So, well, you could have done it. So, well, I couldn't get out of here. Man, the bus runs every day. If you think of it, you can do it. That's the human condition. If we can imagine it, we can do it.
Right.
And I think that's the condition of each individual human.
If you succeed, you do more of it. If you fail, you learn from it, get smarter, and try it again. So you cannot lose by taking action. You can only lose by not taking action. When you try something new several times, it probably won't work. From then on, if you've got a good idea and you've got a good goal and you want to double your income and improve the quality of your life, and you have to try new things in order to get new results, it's not going to work the first time. So say, well, that didn't work. Try something else and try something else and try something else.
So hard work, and the key, as they say, is elbow grease. You just got to roll up your sleeves and do it. And one of the sales executives we interviewed from Acer Computers says you have to be willing to carry the bag.
In fact, most people are lucky to have one idea that really in their whole life.
I've been talking about the 6 keys to the science of motivation. Number 1 was ambition. Have a dream.
That's not a criticism, but earth-shattering, life-changing ideas are very few and far between. Research insights, investment insights, innovations. A good idea needs to be cherished and nurtured.
And you will begin to see it reflect itself in all the dimensions of your life, your mental life, your physical life, your social life, in your relationships, your monetary life. So concentrate on developing yourself. Because if you don't, I guarantee you that you will make a settlement. And most people have. In addition to working on yourself, and as you work on yourself, you feel good about yourself, and as you feel better about yourself, you treat yourself differently. Develop a health plan in sticking to it. But you're worth it doing it again and again and again.
All right, guys, welcome
welcome, one and all to the 9 o'clock show. February 13th, day before Valentine's Day. Guys, if you haven't gotten your Valentine's taken care of, you're in trouble. You better have a plan. And I don't mean a wealth plan. I don't mean a health plan. I mean a life plan, because I promise you this, you miss this, you blow this. I make no promises. Your future is very bleak. Don't miss it, guys. Valentine's Day is tomorrow. Make sure that you hit that mark tomorrow. Very, very important that you do so. And yeah, but let's talk a little bit about today. What's going on today in the news? Heavy Bitcoin trading today. Settled out, well, as you know, it's an around-the-clock deal, but we cut our line off at 9 o'clock. Settled out at 996, mean pricing across all markets. And what does that mean? Well, guys, you take all of the averages of all the different markets and what's trading for, what's it looking like, and we come up with this number of the average of what the trades are looking like throughout the course of the last trailing 24 hours. That number is 996 US dollars for one Bitcoin. Why is that important? Because that's what we do here, guys. We do cryptocurrency, we do Bitcoin, we do wealth, we do trading, we do all of those things. But guys, you got to understand something. It is all interlinked. Every last bit of it. It all comes together. And what you have to do is you have to remember that you have to build a plan, right? You have to build a plan to build wealth. It's not just going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen immediately. It's not going to be easy. It's simple, okay? I want to be clear. It's simple, but that doesn't make it easy. So understand the difference between simplistic and easy, and you can start to pour your way through the fog that is the marketing machine of Facebook and online MLM and business opportunities and all the different ways that you can get rich now, people. It's tax time. What are you going to do? Right? So as we're looking at all of this, we know that the Bitcoin is an emerging market currency, right? We've got nations all over the world that are starting to legitimize it and actually adopt it as legal tender. I don't know how many of you guys saw, show of hands, how many of you guys saw that the Philippines adopted the Bitcoin today? Big happenings there. Major export markets now dealing in Bitcoin, okay? So if you're not involved in Bitcoin yet, stick around, because this is definitely a place for you. I want you to take a moment, thank the person who invited you, because this is not going to be like anything you've ever gone through before, okay? What we're going to do here tonight is we're going to pull the curtain back on how your finances, particularly your credit, how all of that comes together to affect your ability to build long-term wealth, right? So in understanding that this is a long-term plan and understanding what it is that you need to be doing, you need to know that this is going to be painful. This is not going to be easy. So I want to prepare you for that now, because I guarantee you the person who invited you probably did not let you know how eye-opening this is going to be, how sobering this is going to be, and frankly, how much it's going to hurt. Guys, you're going to start looking at every penny in, every penny out. You're going to start looking at your credit report. You're going to start looking at old debts. You're going to start looking at new debts. You're going to start paying attention to that score. You're going to start paying attention to the news. You're going to start paying attention to politics. Yes, I said it. You're going to pay attention to politics. Whether you like Donald Trump or not, whether you like Barack Obama or not, regardless of who you like, who you don't like, why you like them, why you don't, you have to understand that any time there is volatility, there is an opportunity to make money, right? You have before you an opportunity as they roll back federal legislation, as they roll back federal overreach, as they go back to a limited government model. You have an opportunity to cash in the small business sector. Now, conversely, when Barack Obama was coming in, you had an opportunity to cash in on big government, how all of that comes together, right? Bidding on government contracts. I mean, how many of you would like to have a paper contract with the federal, with your housing office? How many of you think, just copy paper? They're just buying copy paper from you. What would you do if I told you, generally speaking, that's a 3 to 5 year contract, locked in, you know how much money you're going to make for 3 years, and guess what the government always does? They pay their bills. You don't have to chase that one. That check is going to show up every time on time, right? So
there's that to consider. So knowing what the political landscape is doing, knowing what direction it's taking, knowing where it's going, you then start to put together a picture for yourself. You start to put together an ability to forecast income and growth, right? And that's really what we want to talk about here, because if you're talking about building wealth, you're talking about a long-term plan, right? You're going way out there into the future. So when you're thinking in those terms, and you're thinking in 1 year terms, 2 year terms, 5 year terms, it kind of changes things. You're not worried about whether or not you're going to have the money for the power bill or the phone bill or whatever else, right? You know you have that. So, Jared, I don't have that. How do I get that? That's really what I'm after. I need money. I need money. I understand. I do. I get it. And that's why we're here. You know, Monday nights, we talk about your personal finances. We talk about your credit. We talk about all of those things, right? And how all of this comes together. Well, your credit score affects how much you pay for your car insurance, for your homeowner's insurance, for your mortgage, for your renter's insurance, and in some cases, even how much you pay in rent on a house or an apartment. That number dictates how much it costs for you to live every month. Okay, it really is that important. It really is that important that you pay attention to it and you make sure that you're maintaining a healthy credit file. Because if you're not maintaining a healthy credit file, it's going to get more and more and more expensive for you to buy the things that you have to buy. You have to buy car insurance. You have to buy health insurance. You have to buy mortgage insurance. You have to buy homeowner's insurance. You have to do these things. Those prices are determined by your credit score. So guys, you can't just take the credit card, run it up, and then cut it up and forget about it. It doesn't work that way. You can't just not pay a bill. You have to make sure that you are spending what you have. You're living inside your budget. That's the first step in building a plan for wealth. You have to have a budget. If you don't have a budget, how can you possibly expect to put yourself in a position to be financially independent in 5, 10, 15 years? How can you possibly do that? You can't. You just can't do it. It can't be done. That's why so many people get to retirement age and they're broke. They don't have savings, they don't have retirement, and they're dependent on Social Security. And we all know how that goes. We know the cost of living adjustments for Social Security are next to never. We know they're minuscule. We know they're tiny. We know all of this. Okay, so when you're putting your plan together, you know, you want to make sure that you pay yourself first. That's a really important thing, and it's really hard to do. It's really hard to break out of the habit of, oh my God, I've got to pay this bill, and I've got to pay that bill, and then, you know, okay, look, I'm going to bet you can find $200 a month, if you haven't already. You can find $200 in miscellaneous spending throughout your budget. If you are anything like 90% of America, you can find $200. And what are you going to do with that $200? Well, you can pay off that old debts. You can put it to work. You can leverage it as an investment in a small business. You can put it to work in internet traffic arbitrage. You can put it to work in cryptocurrency. You can get into drop shipping. There's a whole host of things that you can do with $200 a month. With $2,400 a year, you can actually build a solid retirement. At $200 a month, I think it's like 31. If you're saving $200 a month at 31, by the time you're 65, you're solid, man. I don't remember the exact number, and I don't know if it's 31, but at $200, that's a later in life starting point. You know, if you start like when you're 22, you can save $30 a month, and then you're solid when you retire, right? I get all that, and whatever those numbers are, they are what they are. But at $200 a month, you found enough. If you can maintain that discipline, if you can keep your grocery budget down, and you can keep your cell phone down, and you can keep your data down, and you can keep your internet down, and you can keep your insurance premiums down, you can do all of those things, and you can maintain that discipline, you can, in fact, repair whatever damage has been done. You can have the security in your later years. And that's really what it's about, right? And if you're really good about all of this and you really pay attention and you really get to work in deploying capital, cash on hand, one of the 4 wealth currencies, right? Credit, debt, equity, capital. You put your capital to work, in building income producing assets and appreciating assets, websites, businesses, home, real estate holdings, all of these things, they appreciate in value, right? So if you take your money and you put it to work in those and they start producing an income, now you don't have to trade time for dollars. That's linear income, right? Where you trade time for dollars. Now you're building wealth. Jared, I don't understand. Well, I know, because so many people overlook what wealth actually is. It's a relationship of time to dollar, time to money. It's measured in days, not dollars. So you need to make certain that you understand this. You've wrapped your head around it, you understand it, and you're prepared to make those concessions to find your working capital. You have it. I promise you have it. Even if it's $50 a month, even if it's $100 a month, even if it's $20 a month. Guys, you have the ability to get started. You have the ability to start making a change. Okay? Get on the phone with your bill collector. Start negotiating your rates down. Start negotiating your past due. Get on a payment plan to get all that knocked out. Okay? Get all of these things done so you're ready when all of these shifts that are coming down the pike. The Trump administration, man, they're on fire. Okay? Now, he just got his Secretary of Treasury, was just confirmed today. Guys, you thought he was moving quick on the finance stuff now? You haven't seen anything. And how many of you saw that the Dow what the Dow closed at today? How many of you guys saw that? Huh? Anyone? 20,412, all-time high. The S&P 500 reached a market cap of 20 trillion today. That's what recovery looks like. That's how this all works. Guys, I don't know about you, but I'm about ready for a coffee-filled donut dipped in dark chocolate. That just sounds awesome! And we all deserve it because, good Lord, the last 16 years have been brutal. But now government is shrinking. Now regulations are getting rolled back. Now we're seeing tax cuts. Now we're seeing opportunity arise. Guys, I don't know if you saw the jobs report or not, but let me tell you something. We're about to leave the station. We are about to see things that this country hasn't seen in the better part of 30 years. So when you're sitting back wondering if you should take action and get started, and I'm going to tell you now, if you weren't one of the ones who got on Bitcoin before it was at 400, but you see what it is now, you're really kind of kicking yourself. If you didn't get in on Apple when it was $21 a share, you're kicking yourself. If you didn't ride Qualcomm all the way up to 1,400, you're kicking yourself. You're like the first guy Ray Kroc offered a franchise at McDonald's to. What was it, like $3,000? $3,000. The guy said, no, it'll never work. It'll never work. How many of y'all heard that one? Oh, that'll never work. Oh, man, that makes me laugh. That makes me laugh. Guys, it will work. It will work every time, provided you work it. Whatever it is, if you can look and you can see proven results of somebody doing it, take other people's ideas and run with them. Get them to work. Get them to work for you. Figure it out. Dial it in. Get going. Take action. Because if you haven't taken any action, nothing's going to happen. I know, right? It's crazy. You actually have to do something. I know. What, they didn't tell you? I told you at the beginning, this is different. Guys, nobody's going to do it but you. Nobody should do it but you. And nobody can do it but you. Wrap your head around that, guys. This is about accountability. This is about responsibility. Guys, I'm telling you, this will change your life. If you take nothing else away from this tonight, take this away. Okay? You can change your life. Today, right here, right now, this is the first day of the rest of your life. Didn't know that, did you? Today is the first day of the rest of your life. Welcome to the rest of your life. This is what's called a point of demarcation, and you have just crossed it. Welcome to the first day of the rest of your life, and remember, wherever you go, there you are, right? You guys know that one. So when you are going to look at something, when you're going to look at a business plan, you've got 4 questions that you've got to ask, right? How much does it cost to start? How much does it cost to maintain? Do I have the money to start? And do I have the money to maintain it for 6 months if I don't make a single profit? If the answer to number 4 and number 3 is no, pass. You're not ready. Now, when you look at number 1 and number 2, you're going to go and you're going to do what's called a market analysis. You're going to look around and you're going to look around and you're going to say, can I get the same thing for less money? Startup and over time. Am I maximizing the economy of my dollar? That's what it is to be wealthy, because you can't have money and spend it too, guys. You have got to pay attention to how much it costs. The cost of capital deployment, the cost of doing business, the opportunity cost of passing it up versus taking advantage of it. You have to know whether or not you can take this to the next level. You have to know whether or not this is right for you. You have to know whether you can afford it, whether you can afford to maintain it. Hey guys, if you're like 85% of America out there, you're stretched paper thin and you're looking for answers. You're looking for a way to raise your cash flow. You're not thinking 10 years down the road. You're thinking 10 weeks down the road. You're thinking 10 days down the road. Am I right? So let's talk a little bit about that. Guys, tomorrow night we're following up on our drop shipping series. We're going to talk about the most profitable niches in drop shipping and getting you started and actually starting your workshop in your drop shipping. All right? That's tomorrow night. But tonight, we're going to talk about the affiliate program here. We're going to talk about the website. We're going to talk about how all of that comes together. We are a platform of strategies for building wealth from the web. That includes cryptocurrency. That includes credit. That includes credit and financial literacy. That includes real estate. That includes trading, forex trading, as well as cryptocurrency trading. That involves all of these things. Everything you see that's out there that's trending, we cover it here. We provide you the education and tools necessary to move forward in those environments. We give you what it takes to succeed, provided you're willing to take the ball and run with it. That's the key here, right? So, major announcement tonight. For those of you who don't know, the website domain name has changed from thewealthplan.biz to opusrebus.com. Your tracking links still work the same, and the old website redirects to the new one. There's still a few stray ends that are getting cleaned up and tidied up. So that will be taken care of. But guys, understand something. There is a residual commission that you can earn with Opus Rebus, okay? You're going to receive a residual commission for $20 a month on every person you refer here. Now, we only want you to refer 10, 20 people tops. 10 people is ideal. Remember we said you're looking for 200? If you get $200 a month in passive income coming in, you now have working capital to start growing a cryptocurrency portfolio, to start acquiring tax liens, to start arbitraging internet traffic, doing all of those things. $200 a month, you can do any of them. You can do absolutely any of them. You can do any of them well. You can get into online MLM. You can take advantage of that space. With $200 a month, you can be very successful in Facebook MLM with any legitimate opportunity that's out there. There's a lot of scams out there, but if you have a working budget of $200 a month in stable cash flow, guess what, guys? You can start an online distributorship in an MLM. You like this pill, potion, lotion, whatever. You like the product. You like what it does for you. Great. Do the diligence on the company. Find out if they're legitimate. Find out if they're going to be here. Find out how long they've been here. Look into the owners. Ask around, meet some of the distributors, learn the culture, learn the environment before you make the decision. Make informed, intelligent decisions about your money, because it's your money. See, the guy on the other end of Facebook, he wakes up every morning and he says, you know, I don't know how, but somehow my money wound up in their bank account. I got to get it back. And then, you know, it's one of my favorite stories, right? The savannah of Africa. Sun comes up over the savannah, golden rods or reeds or whatever they are waving. You get the picture, right? A gazelle wakes up and he starts running. About an hour later, a lion wakes up because he hears the gazelle running, and he starts running. So it doesn't matter if you're a lion or a gazelle. When the sun comes up, you start running, because if you're the gazelle and you're not running, you're going to get eaten. And if you're the lion and you're not running, you're not going to eat. It's just that simple, guys. You've got to take action. You've got to keep moving. You've got to remember that without action, you will not get results in anything you do. But you have to be prepared. You have to have your tools. You have to have your systems. You have to have your understanding. You have to know what you're doing. Because if you don't, you're going to have a really hard time being successful, and you're going to bounce from opportunity to opportunity to opportunity, and you're going to get jaded. And then you're just going to throw your hands up and you're going to say, oh, this isn't going to work. This isn't for me. Guys, I understand. There are a lot of people out there who have made a lot of empty promises. There's a lot of people out there who've told you that anybody can do this and it's easy. And guys, those are lies. Those are bald-faced lies. There is nothing easy about owning your own business. Whether you own your business restoring cars, whether you own your own business running a restaurant, whether you own your own business as a tax consultant, whether you own your own business as an online MLMer or an affiliate marketer or a credit specialist or a realtor or a broker of stocks, real estate, or anything else. There is nothing easy about ownership. If it was easy, there'd be no employees and everybody would own. Being the employee is the easy way out. Okay? And owning your own business isn't for everybody. Be honest with yourself. Be honest with yourself. That's so important. Do not let somebody tell you this is going to be easy. Don't let them do it. You will hate them. If it's your friend, that's even worse. If your friend comes to you and says, hey, come with me, this is going to be easy, that's how friendships get destroyed. That's how that happens. Because your friend took, and they teach you, go to your friends because your friends trust you. And they do. Your friends will trust you. And your friends will say to you, trust me. I know what I'm doing. This is easy. Okay? You follow? You with me? You've got to be honest with yourself. Okay? Now, what you can do is take a blueprint of an investment plan and just be strong enough to save your money, invest your money, save your money, invest your money, save your money, invest your money. That's something you can do without any additional skills. That's just about making a decision. And that's where we start here. You need to make that decision tonight. If this is for you, you have to make that decision that you're going to write up a budget, you're going to stay inside that budget. You're going to operate within that budget. Within that budget, you're going to pay yourself first. You're going to put money into savings. You're going to hold back for your taxes. And then you're going to work with the 80% that's remaining, 70% that's remaining. Okay? That is what you're going to do if you stay here. Now, I realize this isn't for everybody. I really, really do. And I'd rather you be honest with me and the person who invited you here tonight to check this out. And if this is your first time seeing this, you know, I really want to thank you for taking the time to check it out. And I want you to understand that what you do with your time and what you do with your money will determine how wealthy you become over the next 10 years. That's what it boils down to. So if it's genuinely wealth that you're chasing, that's genuinely what you want, we can help you with that, provided you're willing to take the action, provided you are willing to do what needs to be done. If that's the case, then you found your way home. You have found your way home. So, moving into the credit accuracy phase of the night, this section, what everybody's been waiting for. Get your pens ready, guys. Get your pens ready, get your pens ready, get your pens ready. You need to understand there are two pieces of legislation you need to be very, very familiar with. The Fair Credit Reporting Act and the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act. Between those two, they intrinsically determine how much it costs for you to live. Now, there's a responsibility for the credit bureau to maintain an accurate credit file. There's also a duty of collections agents, whether they're inside of a company or outside of a company, third-party collections, to report accurately. Malicious reporting to expedite collections, you can't do it. It's a per se violation of the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act and potentially the Fair Credit Reporting Act, both. You have the ability to dispute that. If it's not accurate, let the credit bureau know, let the debt people know, let everybody know, scream from the rafters. And as these things get corrected, even something as simple as correcting your name or correcting your address can improve your credit score. The more aliases you have on your credit file, you take a hit in your FICO for that. The more addresses you have in your credit file, you take a hit during shorter periods of time. You take a hit for that. So guys, if something's come up that's not accurate, you need to make sure that that's reported correctly. If the last job on your credit file was your college job waiting tables at Chili's, and you've been a CPA for the last 18 years, and Experian isn't reflecting that, you probably ought to consider writing them a letter. Because your employment history and your occupation determine your credit risk. All of these things matter. That's why I say again and again and again and again and again, get your credit file, get it from the source. Make sure it's accurate. There's a whole host of letters that are available to you in your back office. If they don't fit, you get the idea from them, use them as a boilerplate, and modify them to fit what you need them to say. Okay? There is no such thing as one size fits all when it comes to credit accuracy. There is no such thing. So when you're looking at all of this and you're looking at your credit file and you're looking at all of this, what you need to remember is it's about accuracy. Know the laws, know the rules, fair credit reporting, fair debt collection practices. Know what those are so you know where you're coming from to correct your credit file. Know what those are, know how they work, and go from there, okay? Now, after your credit score goes up, that's when you're going to get on the phone and you're going to start pricing insurance policies. You're going to start renegotiating your bill rates. You're going to start working on that. You have to treat your household finances as though they're your business, because they are your business. So make sure that you do that consistently. Make sure you're consistently shopping your rates. They're competitors. Make sure you're doing those things, okay? You have got to do those things consistently, because it's not how much money you make, it's how much you get to keep, right? So guys, remember the two pieces of legislation, Fair Credit Reporting Act, Fair Debt Collection Practices Act. You're going to want to review those. We're going to go into a lot more detail next week on Monday night about how that's going to come together, and we're going to start dissecting some case studies taken from the web of various dispute processes, and some case law. We're going to go over some of that as well, so you know where to find these things, so you can start doing your research, so you can start educating yourself as to how this industry works, how these things move, right? What you want to do is you want to make sure that you are on top of your finances, okay? So guys, I want to thank you all for coming out for the 9 o'clock show. Remember, wherever you go, there you are, and there is no escape. We will see you all tomorrow night. Same bat time, same bat channel. Ciao. And if you have not yet seen the Batman Lego movie, you need to go see it, because it was just that awesome. It was just that awesome. So, I guess it would help if I gave you guys the ability to talk. Okay, you all are unmuted. So, anybody have any questions? Bueller.
Yeah, who's Faithy Boo Bear?
I have no idea. Faithy Boo Bear, who are you?
I think it started as iPhone.
I have no idea.
Okay, I have a question.
Okay, Audra, what's on your mind?
Okay, you were saying that you had mentioned the 2 acts that we need to know about. Can you repeat those for me if you don't mind?
Certainly, and I'll also put them in the chat. The Fair Credit Reporting Act and the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act. The full text of both bills are in your back office in the website.
Okay.
So there's that, and of course you can pick them both up at ftc.gov.
ftc.gov.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I appreciate that. Hello.
How's everybody doing?
Just fine. I'm blessed.
Indeed. Not a lot of talkers tonight. Well, my 10 days of winter are over. It's hot and humid here, clearly. So, yeah, Michael just unmuted. He's going to tell us about his snow skiing. Watch. He's going to rub that in my face. Watch.
Well, I spent an hour shoveling snow today, so you're missing out on that. I have to send you a picture of the pile that I made. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it is definitely not 23 degrees down here in Florida, Glenn. It is definitely not 23 degrees. So, little tech note update for you guys. We have a heartbeat from our first exotic, lesser cryptocurrency market for the arbitrage trader. We'll be bringing more of them online this week, as well as Bitrex and CEX. So we're hoping that toward the end of the week, early next week, you guys can start trading. Please be advised that it is not going to be perfect in the next 2 weeks. So I'm imposing trade caps and how much you can spend via the API and everything else in terms of hard dollars until we know all the bugs are worked out. Please be responsible and understand that just because it's up and it's clickable and there are things there that it may or may not be perfect. That does not mean don't use it, because we won't know if it's perfect until we know it's perfect. But so.
Can you put a disclaimer of that up so that it can be noted that people have seen it?
It will be in great big bold letters right across the top of the page.
Fantabulous.
So. Anybody else have?
Next 2 weeks, it may not just be us who are doing this. It may be other people who are not here to hear this and who don't understand our thinking and reasoning.
I didn't quite track that.
Well, in the next few weeks, while we're getting the bugs out,
yeah,
people could come in and just, they could start using this without even thinking that there could be bugs.
Mm-hmm.
And the last thing we want to do is upset them and then upset the rest of us.
Well, we've got error trapping involved. We've got error trapping in place. We've got alerts and screen notifications to let them know when something goes wrong, and all of that. So it's not blind and amorphous. So there's that.
So, Jared, in terms of getting started with the trading, what do we need to do in terms of funding? Do we need to deposit Bitcoin into the trade exchange accounts as well as inputting our credit card with the line of credit?
That is correct, because the way arbitrage works, you're going to liquidate Bitcoin into fiat currency to acquire more Bitcoin at the lower rate. So you've got Bitcoin over here in market one where it's trading at 1,004, and then you've got Bitcoin over here where it's trading at 990. Well, obviously that $15 margin, you want to liquidate your Bitcoin over here, pay the fee, and then put it right back into Bitcoin over here on the other side,
Right.
where you're going to increase your overall position.
Yeah. Just to make it, so to make it clear to people that they need to be funding multiple exchanges. Ideally, what you were saying today, 3 is the ideal.
3 is the minimum.
Yeah.
At least one of the majors, and of course the majors are Citrix, CEX, Citrix. Listen to me. That Citrix does conferencing software. CEX, Bittrex, and Poloniex are the 3 majors.
There's a question. What is Bitcoin?
What is Bitcoin? Bitcoin is a cryptocurrency. It is digital money. It's been around for a good bit. It's currently valued, like I said at the beginning of the call, at about $1,000. $996 was what it settled out at. What we call our price fixing, our closing for our day is 9 p.m. Eastern Standard, GMT 505. And essentially, it is an anonymous currency. It isn't owned by a government. It's not like a U.S. Federal Reserve note. It's not like a euro. It's not like anything like that. And it is anonymous. It's like the numbered accounts in Switzerland. So it really does give us a free market again, whereas under taxes and regulations and everything else, governments are able to restrict the movement of cash, for example. If you've never gone to a bank and tried to cash an $11,000 check, and you've got 4 hours to spend, go ahead and try that. Or not.
Okay, Jared, can I ask you another question?
Of course.
Okay, you were speaking of, like, I don't know if I'm saying this correct, but is it the blockchain or the blockchain market or something? Yes.
Blockchain.
Can you kind of elaborate on that a little bit for me, because I didn't get a chance to follow up with you with that.
Sure. The blockchain is essentially the ledger of cryptocurrency transactions. It's the record. It's the transparent ledger of all of the transactions that have occurred on that currency from its inception.
Okay, and what exactly I'm not sure if I'm saying this right, but Ethereum, what does that mean?
Ethereum is another cryptocurrency. It's Ethereum is you've got Bitcoin, you've got Ethereum. Ethereum is it's an option, I guess, is the best way to describe it for you. It's for our purposes and what we do, it's a tradable currency. It's
okay.
I have no idea who Faithy Boo Bear was. I have no idea.
Jared, in case people haven't seen in the back office,
Through us.
I was just going to say under the cryptocurrency mining tab in the back office, there's some introduction videos there to Bitcoin.
There are. Thank you. But Ethereum is a peer-to-peer blockchain versus a centralized blockchain, which means that every person who has an Ethereum wallet is a server as well. Ethereum is more contract based applications and contracts, whereas Bitcoin is more of a true currency.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So, does anybody else have any questions?
Didn't matter if I did.
All right then. Well, I'm going to get back to it here, and we will see you all tomorrow night. Okay?
Yeah, have a good evening. Bye, everyone.
You too, Audra. Have a good night.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
See ya.
Bye.
Peace.